Okay guys, today we've got a lower body session. So super excited about today actually because we have programmed some 1 rep max testing for squats. The last time I did a 1 rep max was about 12 months ago now, and that is when I tore or badly strained and injured my hip. The lift itself was fine. My 1 rep max testing was great. I hit my all-time PR, which I think was 290. And then, you know, when you get like that overwhelming amount of confidence because you've just smoked a PR. And then I also had scheduled a couple of back down sets, which is what we're going to do today. But like on my 3rd rep down, I remember coming down through the ascent and I could just feel my hip. It was just really, really sharp pain. I didn't continue, but from there on, it was just week after week, more pain, progressively got worse. And I was really trying to I was hoping that it would go away and it didn't. So hindsight's a wonderful thing. I wish that I had just really stopped and listened to my body and not tried to push through some of those warning signs at the future training sessions that we had. But hey, it is what it is. So it's been 12 months. So I'm a little bit nervous about today because this weekend I've had a little bit of hip pain. And yesterday at yoga, I was doing a back bend and it had been several weeks since I'd been to yoga, and I think I got a little overzealous, and after the session I could feel my back. It's not painful, but you just feel it. So I'm going to be careful today, do a lot of warming up, probably a little bit more than I normally would, just to make sure I'm feeling good. And we'll see how we go. So I guess a lot of you guys probably want to know like what the warm-up approach is. So today I've started off with the bar at 135, and then I'll probably do 6 warm-up sets. So I'll jump up to 185, 205, 235, and then just hit some singles and see how they're feeling. Last week for doubles I got 260, and that was at about an RPE, I don't know, 7.5 or an 8. So I think today I can probably aim for about 280, 285 for a single. Again, I'm trying to be conservative. I don't really want to blow my hip out again. So that's kind of my approach for the warm up today. So I've done a few sets. I'm going to keep going.
So we're hitting 1 rep maxes,
Yeah.
which is going to be very interesting, so I don't bust a hip.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm worried about. I mean, the last time I did a 1 rep max was when I broke my hip.
What was your 1 rep max last time?
I think I did 290.
290?
Yeah.
You got that this time.
We'll see.
Last week they looked really smooth.
They did, but I'm also like, this is just training. I also don't want to go and like fuck up my training for the next 6 months on account of like trying to boost my ego, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. Like, I have a show this weekend. I don't want to fucking bust a hip and just can't even walk in heels. So this week, my 1 rep max might be close to 235.
How are you feeling? Do you feel warm?
Yeah.
I would give yourself another minute and I would go for your first attempt. And I would probably go for 240.
240?
Yeah. Or put a 5 on, yeah. 235.
All right.
Let's do it. Okay, abs on, brace. Easy. Okay, so do you want to try for a second?
I could go for 240.
Okay, all right, we'll wait 5 minutes.
All right.
Heck yeah.
There was nothing I could do, nothing I could say to pull you away, to pull you away. Can you separate me from the sin? Is it not too late?
Right, I only need 40 more pounds. Fuck. Stay tight. That looks
I like it, right?
nice.
I didn't think I was gonna make that. That was a.
That's good. You didn't
No, you're good.
Stay tight right here, which made the difference. Yeah.
I want to make sure these bad boys are on tight. And you're definitely ready to take them off by the time you finish your set.
All the darkness from my eyes. Building later in the bed that you made. Separate me from the sin.
Come on, Holly.
Is it not too late to try and start again? Can you separate all the darkness from my
That's like cardio. In our intermediate training programs on the workout builder, like there might be a deload week where you're only doing 2 working sets of squats, but the RPE is still high. It's like a 9. So like today is a 10 for us. We're going to failure. So if I was just to back it down like 1 RPE, there is no way, like some people have said, oh, well, I finished my whole workout in an hour, and they had those 2 working sets of squats. Like you are not working as hard as you need to be, or you're not pushing yourself with the loads that you probably can lift. So just keep that in mind, guys. Like take your time, don't be afraid to slow down. I think a lot of people tend to gauge their like effectiveness of a workout based on like how much they sweat or how high their heart rate gets. But those are not very good metrics for hypertrophy. So yeah, 1 hour squats. Moving on to a hamstring specific movement, so we're doing dumbbell RDLs. There's nothing magic about this particular exercise, but it is a fairly difficult movement. So yeah, I kind of try to program the things early on into the training session that I'm trying to focus on. So I wouldn't, for instance, put like a squat midway through the session. I would always have those first because that's really, it's a compound exercise, multi-joint. It's a big hitting exercise, so you kind of want to have those at the very beginning, and then you'll see that the exercises kind of become more isolated, a lot easier as we get towards the end. So yeah, we've done so many variations of these. I think I've really enjoyed a lot of the banded RDL, so we'll do like a banded barbell RDL or a single leg banded RDL, and it just increases a little bit more of the glutes. So that's where you attach a band to a fixed position behind you, and then when you come through on the squeeze, you've got constant tension. There's never a point where the exercise becomes static, whereas when we're doing the RDL today, you'll see when we kind of get to the top, there's no more tension. It's just kind of, you're at rest, you're just holding the weight. So we've done a lot of those, which I've really enjoyed, and it's definitely helped my strength progression over to these. So let's do it. Good job, Theresa. Like a massive difference that I have learned to get back being used to.
Oh yeah.
I think I really used to rely heavily on that music to like push my training, but now I feel like I can switch it on a lot better without the need for anything.
Yeah, you definitely can train yourself to tap into like that mode.
Yeah.
Music, it helps.
Yeah. Which is probably quite the skill. I guess like if you're thinking about powerlifting or like any sport,
Yeah.
yes, you can train with music, but on competition day, you're not going to throw your headphones in. So
it's a psychological skill.
Underneath my skin and I learn to love the lies. Now I lay awake and I contemplate have I become
So even for something like a hip thrust, like this is our third exercise, like we still make sure that we do 1 or 2 at least warm-ups. So yeah, I think if you're not warming up, that might be a really good area for you guys to improve on, because now you're activating the muscles you're actually going to be using for that lift and potentially improve your overall load, which long term leads to hypertrophy. So warm up. These are 1.5s today. We've got 6 or 8 reps. I'll have to check the program. Again, there's nothing magic about a 1.5 rep or versus a regular, standard no tempo changes. It really is just increasing time under tension. And for the 1.5, we're specifically targeting the top range. So there's a lot more glute firing the entire time. So yeah, it's just nice to have exercise diversity. And not just be doing the same thing over and over and over again. So, yeah.
Tell me I'm never good enough.
Awesome, T.
Remind me of the demons that I'll pull up me from. Tell me who the hell you thought I was. Or just blame it on the person I'll become. Lately, I don't give a fuck, 'cause I can't be myself when I'm with anyone. Maybe I'm already gone. I'll never be the same. Hitting me like a hurricane, hitting me like a tidal wave. And I don't know why I draw my mind and everything they say. Hitting me like a hurricane, hitting me like a tidal wave. And I don't know why I draw my mind.
So something that I've done differently with all of the hip thrusting movements over the last 12 months is really pull the weight back. I think there was a little bit of ego in my old style of lifting, and I think what tends to happen is you'd start compromising and you're using everything else to support the movement. So I've dramatically dropped my weights back compared to what I used to lift for the same movements, and just really focusing on isolation as opposed to any ego lifting, and it's definitely helped. Definitely recovering better, not pulling up a sore, and actually now starting to make progress. So.
Lost inside my mind, doubt what it's pulling me under. Remind
last time when we did this program, you would assume that once you've been doing something for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, that you'd be down with all the rep ranges and the exercises that are on each program. No. So we were doing this the other day, and I think we accidentally did 4 working sets of 15 with a drop set of 12 on each set. Or we did that for the first 3 sets, and then we finally checked back on the program, and I'm like, it's only 10, and then a drop set of 10. So she was like, no wonder that was so freaking hard.
Be myself when I'm with anyone. Maybe I'm already gone. I'll never be the same. Hitting me like a hurricane. Hitting me like a tidal wave. And I don't know why I drown my mind in everything they say. Hitting me like a hurricane. Hitting me like a tidal wave. And I don't know why I drown my mind. Pick up the best of me. With your life on the line, ready to die for something. When you're ready to fight, and you're down to your side. Look into my eyes. Believe me, that the storm is coming. Believe me, that the storm is coming. Down, down, down. It's going down. Hitting me like a hurricane. Hitting me like a tidal wave. Everything they say.
Oi, oi, oi. My least favorite exercise is next. Kickbacks.
I can be myself when I'm with anyone. And maybe I'm already gone.
Nice drop set.
Could I be the only one here? The one and only mistake.
Oh man, is your butt really sore? Hip thrusts and squats.
And everything.
That you say. Can you separate me from the sin? Is it not too late to try and start again? Can you separate all the darkness from my eyes? Try to come on me 'cause I'd rather be alone. Wash away the blood just spilled and lay down in the bed that you made. There was nothing I could do, nothing I could say to pull you away.
So these have pretty much remained a staple in all of our training programs. I don't really think I've ever taken them out, to be honest. It's just a really good way to isolate and load heavy your glutes. But again, something I think is really important to remember if you are incorporating drop sets, which is what we're doing today, make sure that you log your drop set weight, because at the end of the day, it's still contributing to your overall training volume. So if you're kind of willy-nilly picking whatever weight to do your drops, you may find that one week your volume is significantly higher on your glutes than another. So I think that's really important. Again, nothing magic about drop sets, but we're at the point now where we lift the whole stack. So in order for us to get an effective or a heavy load based on our strength, we'd probably be just sitting here for 30 reps or something. So we're just trying to mix it up and keep a bit of variety in there and really just murder our butts. So normally we would have this as our fourth exercise, but since we've already incorporated the leg extension and those kickbacks, I'm going to be a lot more fatigued going. So for my first set, I'm actually not going to lift what I did last week because I'm performing it more fatigued. We'll start there.
My brain is gone. I'm a vegetable. And it's only Monday.
Damn, that's how I feel. I honestly woke up this morning at like 6. I could have kept snoozing for at least half a day. I'm exhausted.
But we got in here at 8 a.m.
myself when I'm with anyone. And maybe I'm already gone. You will never know it's the price I pay. Look into my eyes, we are not the same.
Yeah, that's shin cracking. I'm like shaking to try and get it up. We actually had a Smith machine calf raise, so we kind of set that up with 2 weight plates underneath to kind of help with your range of motion, but they've been taken for most of the session. So sometimes it's okay to sub out your exercises. So ideally, like if you're going through a training block, stick to the same program because then when you do write your new program or you get your new program, whoever your coach is, now you've got something different. But in this case, there isn't really any significant differences in the muscles that we're trying to target. So just is what it is, I guess. That is a wrap.
Wrap it up.
So happy we're done.
So happy.
Alrighty guys, so that is, thank God, a wrap. Sorry, we've been here for 1.5 hours. Actually, no, I'm lying. It's now 10:25 and we started at 8. So these are good 2-hour sessions, especially when we're working up to like a higher intensity. So our RPE is kind of above 8. So yeah, that's pretty typical for all of my lower body sessions. We also have that one upper body session, but last week I completely omit from my program just so that I can kind of, first off, allow my shoulder to heal. It's felt a little bit uncomfortable in the last couple of programs. In fact, the last video that I filmed for you guys when we came into the gym, I was probably at like a 5 out of 10 pain for a lot of my overhead pressing movements. So yeah, last week I just did a spin class instead so that I wasn't completely, sedentary. That way I'm still expending some calories. I'm burning a similar amount, maybe even more than what I would do when I'm doing an upper session. So I'll probably come in tomorrow and train with Theresa and just see how my shoulder's feeling. But there's also another spin class kind of pretty close to the time that we usually start training. So if it's giving me any grief, I'm just going to call it quits and go and do that. Instead, I'd rather allow it to heal and kind of get better. And I think I'm booked in to get some therapy this weekend. Just take a look at it and see if there's anything that I can do to kind of help speed up that process. But self-care for me has definitely been something that unfortunately has taken a bit of a back seat just in the last 12 weeks or all of 2021. The time that I used to, go down and have physical therapy, which was like a 90-minute session every week, I just had to let it go because we've got so many things kind of thrown into our work schedule that it was just taking up so much of my time to drive down. And it's like a 35-minute drive, but that's an hour and 10 minutes out of my day just sitting in the car. And then, it's a little bit disruptive to my week. So I've been really slack with my recovery and preventative health measures for my body at least. So I'm starting to get to that point now where I can feel a few things starting to feel uncomfortable. So, that's a big warning sign to me that I do need to re-implement that. So this weekend, I did a yoga class just to kind of do some stretching because otherwise I really struggle to do that on my own. So yeah, I guess that was week 5 of our 6-week training block, and this program will be coming to you guys on the BioLane Workout Builder. That is heavily under revamp at the moment. The new site and the new Workout Builder program looks insane. I'm so excited. It's just one of those things where we only have one developer and he is spreading his time so thinly across many projects at the minute, so it's just like, eh. But that will be coming to you guys, and I really think that's probably all. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed this lower body session. If you've got any questions, please leave me a comment. I do try and go back in, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, and respond to you guys. I really hope that you learn something and you can take something away from these programs. So have a wonderful week, and I will see you at my next session.